I'm doing awesome, Steve. You know, it's so weird. I must have been doing this too long. I don't remember cutting that bumper at all.
Yeah, that was the first time we had you on. So yeah, it's been quite a
That's
bit, but
crazy.
yeah,
That's
I'm glad
awesome.
we use that one quite a bit too. In fact, I use that in some of my YouTube clips as well. So you get a lot of pub out of that.
I'm so sorry.
It's all good. It's all good. But if you're going to apologize for something, I can't get you to apologize for the PWI 500 because there were some unfortunate gaffes in it this year, and I'm sure you want to get that out of the way
Again?
right now. Yeah.
You're not
Well,
happy?
it's not that I'm not happy, but there is a general consensus among the internet that this thing was full of errors this year. So perhaps I'm just giving you the office if you want to address that subject.
Well, you know, we've had a lot of complaints. I'm trying to bring up the list right now. I'm going all around online, and all I can find is like the top 10.
Well, I'm sure we've got a
No, but
link to it on the.
okay. I'm trying to find it. I'll find it. I can do this on the fly. I mean, what sort of criticisms do you guys have? I mean, there was the Tanahashi thing, but we addressed that. I don't know if you saw that, but PWI's blog last week, we put up for the first time ever in feeling bad and trying to atone for this mistake, leaving Tanahashi off the list, which is insane, as any Japanese wrestling fan would know. He was supposed to be slotted at number 11. It was a clerical error. So we ended up pushing everybody kind of down one. And there was another guy, and the name escapes me, and I can't load the list at the second, but he was double entered. So we were able to take one of those away and slide everyone down, keep the 500, and Tanahashi got number 11 like he deserved.
I believe the one that was
Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, Husky Harris.
What, he was double entered?
Yeah, it says Bray Wyatt was listed at both 167 and 244.
Okay.
Which
well,
I assume.
Couple errors this year. I mean, do you have any idea how hard this is, man? It's like trying to do like a fantasy football draft where you got to get the entire league to agree on each and every pick.
Yeah.
No,
It's
I understand.
Tough. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I didn't hear about that mistake, but I mean, I believe it. It happens sometimes.
Yeah, no, I think the one that people were really objecting to was Tenzan instead of Tanahashi. Not that Tenzan isn't good, but there's clearly a difference between the two of them. I mean, one's, like the John Cena of Japan, and the other is who he is. So I think that was the one that really...
Right. Well, it was Tenzan was at 11, correct?
Right.
Yeah, that was the clerical error. Tenzan was supposed to be like 81 or something like that. So he got put in his real spot. Tanahashi got number 11. We issued an update on that and an addendum. It's not going to be in the print version, unfortunately, because it all went to press. But it's officially recognized. For the first time ever, we actually fixed the mistakes on the list, which is groundbreaking. It's never happened before.
Well, let's not even talk about the mistakes so much, because they're what they are, and you said it yourself. There was a correction, and you made it sure that everybody knew what it was supposed to be. Let's talk about the other people in the industry that are complaining about it. Like, Kurt Angle has taken exception to CM Punk being listed number one.
No! I mean, how can you argue with CM Punk in the year that he had? I had an argument going in there, but I was just playing devil's advocate.
I think Angle's argument was that from a technical perspective, he's not a better wrestler than Kurt Angle is. He might be right. I don't know. But it's just like, he got incredibly worked up about it to a degree that I'm like, Kurt, seriously, did you think you were going to be number one this year? What's your problem here?
Well, I mean, I guess if you just focus on, like, technical wrestling, Kurt Angle would be in the top 3 every year, but I mean, there's so many. We went through this stuff before, all the criteria on your show. I mean, it's the quality of competition. To a certain extent, it's what do they call it? I mean, it's a mark magazine. It's I hope I don't get in trouble for saying that, but I mean, it's what you see on TV. It's the magazine that presents wrestling as if it's like Sports Illustrated. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I agree with you that it's supposed to be not just about technical criteria. It's supposed to be about your
Right.
value as an entertainer, your the promos you deliver, the top feuds that you're in that make you a bigger star. And you can say the term Mark Magazine if you want, but I think some people will use that respectfully when referring to Pro Wrestling Illustrated because it does present the non, oh, here's all the scoops about who is arguing backstage with who. It's like, you know what? It's nice to have something that has nothing to do with that. And Pro Wrestling Illustrated has its place.
As a print magazine, it's and feel free to beep them if you want. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
I mean, as a print magazine, it's very hard to compete with like the real time instant gratification of any internet site. Yours is one of the best out there, actually, because you guys are on top of everything, and not a lot of sites are. Now, PWI, because we have this online version now, it's almost like we were compelled to tweak the list to make up for what we did wrong. So, Peter,
That's me, buddy.
you realize you're projected to win your fantasy football division in my league, right?
I love it. I love it.
Okay, cool. I am too, by the way, and I'm going to beat you when we get there, but we'll get there.
I told you, Stevie. I told you he's going to talk some smack.
I'm just bothered
kidding,
that I wasn't entered into this league. I'm in a league called the Keyboard Quarterbacks because I couldn't get into your league, Brady.
It was a first come, man. I had a couple of openings. It's in high demand,
I guess it is, but
It's,
I'm just going to have to let Peter vicariously represent Angry Marks. Like the hopes and the whole nation of Angry Marks is now riding on Peter's shoulders, so he's got a heavy burden to bear.
Well, it is
Peter has
called
the
Team
opportunity
Angry Marks.
to visit fantasy football. So.
Now, I have to ask the divisions. What are these names? I don't. Can you explain the names of the divisions to me?
You want to talk about that now? Okay. Sure. Yeah. Basically, what happened is this league it's two separate leagues that folded. It was my friend's family league, which I played in for a few years. That's the Krasinskis. I believe you're in that conference.
Yes.
And the other one is the Sabre League. That was a league with my friends that there just wasn't enough interest to keep the league going. So I collapsed the two of them into one league, and I made two separate conferences. And then when a couple Krasinskis dropped out, I was lucky enough that you could fill that spot.
I love playing fantasy football. The only reason I missed the draft was with my brother's bachelor party the day of the draft. I'm like, fantasy football, bachelor party. It's hard choice there.
To be fair, fantasy football is like a once in a lifetime opportunity. How many drafts do you get in a lifetime? Like 50?
I usually do them in 3 in a season.
Good for you, man. So, what were you saying about The Miz? Something with the list.
Yeah, has a number one person gone from like being the top of the list down to 49 the next year? Has anyone fallen that far after being number one?
I believe that we looked it up, and I'm pretty sure that is the biggest drop of all time.
Oof. And the way he's going now, I don't think he'll be number one anytime soon.
Do you think it's warranted? I did.
I sure do.
I would put him in the 40s for sure. I'm not sure. Well, maybe. Seeing the names on this list, yeah, I would put him 45, 49. After like 25, 30, it kind of, it's not like, he's a number 29 pick for sure. You know what I mean? Like, you have give and take, so.
Right. There are also a lot of people who think he should have been in the 20s or 30s last year, even though he was a champion.
Did you get more hate mail or negative comments for The Miz being number one or for CM Punk being number one?
Oh, absolutely, The Miz. I think generally, that's kind of a dud, don't you think? Because like CM Punk is like so widely heralded as like an opportunity for like a guy who came up through the ranks the right way. He did the independents and he did Ring of Honor. He did TNA for a little bit. He worked his way up, and when he got to WWE, he had to spend like 6 years there because he couldn't get any respect. But it's finally like his talent finally rose to the top, and I think it's great. It's going to open doors for a lot of other guys in the future, guys like Daniel Bryan and I mean, I think it's a great thing.